Yeah, it was a total nightmare, man. Like the week before was probably the best overall week I've had in a long time. And was up like 3.7 R's. I mean, just a great week, and then I got that brilliant idea of back traded it maybe 15 or 20 times, and it was pretty successful. And I said, all right, having really tight stops and like shooting for the price to like pop and get 1Rs with smaller targets, which require tighter stops. And it was, I'm looking at my journal right now. Let's see. I only traded 3 days last week because it was such a nightmare.
Oh, good. Way to stop the bleeding.
Oh, dude. Monday, it was, I kept like shaving small W's and then ended up down about 0.4 R. So Monday, it wasn't a good day, but I lost small. And then Tuesday and Wednesday, man, was just a nightmare. I mean, I lost on those 2 days alone. I was down, let's see here, a total of 4 R's on those 2 days alone. And so Wednesday is when I was leaving, I was like, man, I'm done. I'm not even going to try to trade Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I'm going to regroup and get back on it this week. And it was just, a couple of them were because I was trying the tighter stops. And here's the bad thing, man. Let's see. One of them I shorted NVIDIA. All right.
Giving you permission to share your screen, so if you want to, go ahead and pull it up.
Yeah. I'll show you this one. All right. So let's go. All right. So I shorted NVIDIA. All right. Can you see this right here?
I see your spreadsheet.
Okay. Let me share this with you. All right. And so this was the NVIDIA. Oh, wait, did I say Nike or NVIDIA? Hold on.
You said NVIDIA.
All right, I'm sorry. I meant Nike because I'm going to show you something. And all right, so this was the Nike setup. All right. And I was shorting underneath this little hammer right here. I don't know if you can see my arrow.
I see it. Yep.
Yep. And I mean, it wicked me in and then just bounced, and I'm looking here. Here's what I'm thinking, man. I'm like, all right. Right here, we got a big bearish candle, a lot of volume. If you look at the volume for the day, it's a little bit bearish. We had a big candle here. So I'm thinking, all right, it's going to go down. It's going to keep going down. There's that, it's under you can see the 10 and the 20 cross right there. The VWAP, all of this crap was ahead of it. Now, it was still a pretty tight stop, though. You know what I mean? Like, in most cases, I probably would have moved the stop up here.
I think that'd be unnecessary because look, you have this consolidation right here. So your stop placement's fine. Your entry's fine. The only thing that I would critique is like, look at this. So like, that on the day, this is a pretty big bullish move.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is a big bull flag. This is consolidation. It popped out strong, reclaimed these moving averages, and be clear. I get a little crazy with the annotate.
No. That's good. That's good.
I just draw all over the place. But so we had this big bull flag here, and then we had this strong move, and then it failed. So I mean, what time is it? What time is this here? Like 10:30?
Yeah, right around 10:30.
If we could zoom out and see the rest of the chart, that would. But based on what I'm seeing, I mean, I don't hate this trade.
Yeah, let me see if this is the right one. No, it didn't do what I wanted it to do. Hold on. Okay, well, hold on. I think I said okay, I was so disgusted I didn't get up. Let me see if this is good. Yeah, let me see here. Hold on. I wanted to show you that one. The one that, okay, this is the one. Let me show you this one here. This is what I think it was, because
we can look at this one later too on TradingView just to make sure. Because I mean, I don't hate that trade unless there's something else going on.
No, that wasn't what I was thinking of. I was thinking of this one with NVIDIA, and I'm pulling it up right now.
Okay.
Let me see what day. I wrote it down wrong. I think I wrote it down wrong in my journal. Yeah, because I was just so pissed. I was so mad. That was on the, when I went back and looked at it, that was on the 9th. So let me pull it up on the 9th. November 9th. Go to, oh yeah, this is it right here. So I'm going to pull up the trade setup, and then I'm going to show you the rest of the day. So on the 9th, let me get this NVIDIA. Yeah, that Nike one. See, and that's what it was like, man. It was like, dang, that's what it was. I felt like it should have worked, and it just didn't.
The Nike trade?
Yeah. That one we just looked at.
Yeah, I mean, there may be a little bit more to it than, like, we could have probably maybe got a little bit more information had we zoomed out and seen the rest of the chart.
And
but just based on what I saw.
Yeah.
The only thing I will say is that it had a strong bullish move up.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's been trading sideways for a little while. So, like, I don't know why go bearish, I guess. But, like, systematically, per your strategy, it was within the rules and it wasn't a terrible setup. But if we would have backed out and seen more, who knows?
All right, let's see. Share this. So this is, all right, this is the NVIDIA one, which I guess anytime you short NVIDIA, you're risking anything. But you know, in back trading it, man, it does. I mean, you can short it, you know, over the course of a day trade because it does have big moves down. So again,
you can short anything.
Yeah. And so you can see right here, I was in what's odd is when you look at this, you're like, well, where's the candle where's the bullish, the bullish candle?
What do you see?
Yeah. I'm like, all right, what the crap, man? I saw something there. And I think what it was, all right, let me share it again. All right, if you look at, this is in my way. All right, see, I don't, can that's the setup right there. Can you see that? Yep. All right, so I don't really know what I was setting up under.
Well, that probably means it wasn't a very good trade. If you can't see it immediately, then it's not that good of a trade.
Well, and obviously it wasn't following my rules because I was like, all right, but if you look at this, all right, so this is, I moved my stop up and it wicked me out. But again, I went back and I was like, all right, if I'd have been doing like my stops normal, I probably would have set my stops up here above that 100.
Well, dude, it depends on like what do you think is happening? Like, what's the sentiment? Like, why would you place your stop up here versus somewhere else? Like, what do you think is happening right now?
I think it's Well, when I made the trade, I was like, all right, Nvidia's been at all-time highs. Tesla was on its way down. Nvidia, the price has fallen. It's a bearish day. There's been, you can see up here, there was already some moves down. We're getting ready to cross the 10 and the 20 here. You know, it's clearly a down day, but at least that's what my thinking was.
Mhm.
And going back,
that all is very good. That's great reading the market. Keep going.
and so going back to what we talked about last time, in a normal setting, I would have tried to put as much crap between my entry and my stop. So I would have probably set the stop up here above
Okay.
these wicks.
All
Okay.
right.
But I didn't. Oh, I'm gonna have a tight stop. It's gonna make a quick move. And obviously that didn't work. But watch this, man. So now this is the day for Nvidia. Can
Okay.
you see the day chart?
Yeah, it comes all the way down here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If
Okay,
if I don't make that idiotic move with my stop, that's a 1.88 R trade all the way down to here, man.
Yeah, but who cares? That's not normal, dude. Because look, zoom out a little bit. Keep going. Okay, stop. Look at all this. So yeah, dude. I mean, this is a big move by itself. This is a big move. And it came right into this support. So basically you have to be thinking, I wouldn't touch it. I personally wouldn't touch it, because if you're trying to get in, so let's look at what's happening here. Okay, it's a big move into support. So what are we saying? What are we not gambling, but what are we betting is going to happen? What you're saying is, like, you have to recognize this is consolidation, because it's hitting a support. So it needs to consolidate and go one way or the other. So that's how you read what's happening here. So if you're saying, okay, well, if it's consolidating, then I'm saying that it's going to break this level. That's what I'm betting on. So if it breaks this level, where's it going to go? Down into here. So if I think that it's going to go down into here, I need to give myself RR. So if I'm going to get in the middle of the consolidation somewhere and my target's down here, I just need to, I need to make sure that my stop exactly is in a place where, okay, I like this. So over here, yeah, I mean, protect your stop, and yeah, that's like a 2R trade. But do you see why it's different? You put your stop in the consolidation, but you also put your entry in the consolidation. So if you're reading the situation as like it needs to bust through this next layer, then you just kind of, like, you didn't read it wrong. You just, I don't think you read it that deeply, where basically it's consolidation and support. If I want it to break through this, it's going to get down to here. But I don't think you recognized it as consolidation in that way where, and dude, you know, maybe you would have put it right here. I mean, that's a good spot to put it, and you probably still would have got whipped out. So, like, sometimes it just doesn't work. But do you see what I'm saying about, like, the sentiment is I need to break through this thing, and then I'll get down to the next level. And that's exactly what it did. Look.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're right. I didn't read the consolidating part of it. And that's what I've got to do a better job of. I've got to do a better job, because right now I'm more or less playing the 10 EMA just as it happens on the day. I'm not doing a good job of going back and looking at the past days and seeing how, you know, the past day could play into today. Does that make sense?
100%.
So I need to go back and look at prior days more. And
you don't have to go back super far, dude. I mean, just scroll back on the Zoom wheel a little bit and let's see what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's good that you know you're at all-time high. So that's important.
Yep. I see that consolidation here. And it hit this and bounced right back down. And I think what I was doing is playing it just kind of right there. Even though that green candle didn't close under the 10, I was like, all right, I'm going to put my entry right there under that because I mean, if it does close below, it's going to go lower. So even though it didn't, the bullish candle didn't close below the 10, I set my entry below it, you know, which there it wicks me in, and then bounces one last time and wicks me out,
Yeah.
and then plummets. You know, it was just one of those can't win for losing type deals almost.
Yeah, dude, and it's gonna happen. But I mean, also, like, consider the fact that this is like a pretty decent gap up, and it could have easily sold off and then done something like this. So, like, yeah, I mean, it's more of a, like, for me, this is more of a gambly play. I don't really feel like you have an edge one way or the other for me, because it's consolidating after a gap up. So, like, it can either hold this and explode out, or it can bust through and come down to here.
I want to make a note of that. Yeah, I'm going to make a note of that.
That's how I read it. And I mean, the EMAs are all sideways. What's this, VWAP, this yellow line?
Yep.
So, I mean, if you want to say, yeah, okay, now all these people now the sellers are in control because here's my VWAP and that's my edge, then cool, I'll buy that. That's cool. And you are at all-time highs. So, yeah, I can see that, like, people are going to take profits. Buyers are kind of tired. So, yeah, maybe you have more of an edge to the downside. But, I mean, that's open for interpretation. And in hindsight, it's easy to say that. But for me, in real time, I'm seeing, okay, this thing's consolidating. Yeah, I mean, I don't think you did anything super wrong. I just don't think that you read it at that deep of a level.
No, I didn't.
That probably could have. I mean, if you are taking it down here, like, maybe a good stop placement is like, okay, well, I expect it since it broke here, like, maybe you put your stop up here somewhere so it has a chance to retest this level. I mean, but again, hindsight's 2020. It's easy to say that in hindsight, but in the future, if that's something you want to play around with, like, okay, like, it tried to hold this level, wick, broke down, tried to retest. I'm going to give it a chance to retest this level here. So I'm going to put my stop just up here somewhere.
Yeah.
Just to give it a chance. Because, I mean, even when you put your stop, if you take the back trading thing and you come over here when you took your entry, let's see what that looks like. Just, like, put it over here.
Put
wherever you got in. Yeah, this. Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Wherever you think you got in, around there somewhere.
It was right here.
Okay. So you got in below this candle?
Yeah, and see, I would have set it.
Oh, okay.
It was actually, yeah, I set it down right. That's what it was. I did it right here.
This is good. This is good. Let's leave this right where this is. Okay. Because right now, I mean, what are you seeing right here?
All right. So I'm seeing a very bullish day or bearish day. All right. It bounced off, it gapped up, bounced off the all-time high and immediately retraced with massive bearish candles, big bearish candles, inverted hammer, doji. So there's indecision. The 10 is below the 20 or above the 20. So Momo was trending to the point where they were going to cross, and just following NVIDIA as much as I do, it had a very bearish feel for it. You can go look at some of these other days, you know, the price had popped up from a couple of days ago, again into the all-time high, which
it's a strong gap, dude. Huh? Scroll back out. I mean, look at this. This is all sideways, blah, blah, blah. And then, boop, that's a big pop, dude. So
yeah, and a big pop. and it was and it created another all-time high, but you can see here, like when it hit that all-time high in the past, it would immediately go down. And so when I saw it gap up that night or that morning, I was like, all right, we'll see how it opens. And it just went straight down. So I was like, okay, it's bouncing off the all-time high. It's going to be a bearish day, bear candle, bear candle, bear candle, more bearish volume. All right, let's set the trade here and short it. And
all right, let's back out. Let's check this out. So look at this. These are your previous all-time highs, right? Where price failed.
Yeah, right here you can see. Yeah.
So price gaps above this. Now we have to hold this as support. It didn't, right?
Right.
We have to hold this as support. You understand why?
Well, if it's going to maintain it, if it's going to stay above that, if it's going to stay with the gap up, yeah, then it has to, these peaks right here have to become old resistance, new support to keep the price up.
Yep. So somewhere in here, somewhere in this area kind of needs to hold. So when this thing closes strong below it, now keep scrolled out like that. So look, those are strong closes, right? So now we're closed all the way down here. So now this is failed. So what does this become now? Not support. So what is it?
It's resistance now.
Yep. So where does the price retest?
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yep.
Now keep in mind, I would not have taken this trade and I wouldn't have played it that way because it's not my style. But just looking at this chart, we can deduce that it tried to make a new high, sold off pretty hard, closed below. And this is why I wouldn't have taken it, because there's just too much. I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like there's no reason it couldn't have like traded back up and made a doji on the day and just kind of stayed in here. So like for me, there's no edge, but it is fun to just kind of look and say like, well, okay, it failed. Now it's kind of trying to chop around in this range in between here, and now it chops around and it makes a move down into here because that's where there's more open space. Right. So,
right.
I mean, for me, there's no edge, but if you are going to play it, these are the kind of things that you need to look at and understand. VWAP kind of gives you an edge, I guess, but yeah, for me, not enough.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I see exactly what you're saying. And I knew, man, I was like, well, it's going to go down. And at the end of the day, when I went back and looked, I was like, God, if I'd have because in a normal situation, I'd have had my stop at this point. If I'd have been doing it like I normally do it,
yeah,
I'd have probably put my stop like right here.
Yeah, so that would have been perfectly fine.
And done that. There's that one, and then when you drag it out for the rest of the day, then I mean it would have been
zoom out a little. And let's see how it plays with the other days. Yeah. So if that thing works, it's probably going to come down into here. Yeah.
And it did. Yeah. But I was an idiot and had my stops too tight. And God, that's what made me so mad.
Well, dude, I don't think you're an idiot, but I mean, you know what you did. Like, if you're going to, I mean, there's just nothing to. It wasn't even a bad stop placement. Like putting it right here is not even bad, dude. I mean, like you have this squeezer top. It's right near this level. I mean, you just got kind of wicked out. Kind of sucks, but like it wasn't a bad trade. Yeah, it wasn't a bad trade. Like the bet, you could have just put it like right here. But I mean, dude, that's not a bad trade. It's not a bad trade at all. It happened. So the takeaway from this is this was protection. That was a fine stop placement. But understand that you're in this consolidation. So basically anything in here it's like this is defined the range basically. So like this is the high end of this consolidation range, and like this is the low end of the consolidation range. So anything in here, if you're looking for a move like that, basically, again, this isn't a bad stop placement right here, but like you could have just a little higher. But I mean, dude, that's the shit that just, it's not a bad trade.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. And I felt like it was a good one. And my comment was, I can't win for losing, because I don't know if you can see the journal. But yeah, that was probably one of the most frustrating ones. Oh my man.
Bro, it is tough, dude. Go to Riot real fast. I'll show you something that'll make you feel better.
Go to what?
RIOT.
All right, okay.
Okay. Scroll into this chart.
Holy moly.
Yeah. You're gonna see something. All right. Take us over like here. So 10 EMA strat. I was watching this one in the Slack. So we got this big bearish move down. We got this hammer with some volume. We reclaimed these moving averages. And then we had a perfect little, where is it? Can you zoom in just a little bit more?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Drag it.
Oops,
Interesting. It looks a little bit different on my chart because there was like a 3.
well, I'm on the 5 minute. What minute were you on?
I was on the 5 minute too, but mine looks different. There was it was this was also a bear candle on my chart, I'm pretty sure. That's weird. I don't know why it looks like that.
I don't know.
But anyhow, so here's your entry candle, right? The 10 EMA strat.
Yep.
And I was targeting right here. It hit my target to the penny, took the R, it comes down, retests, and then look what it does the rest of the day.
Oh, I know.
It was like a 10R trade.
That's like
insane.
Yeah. That's
but dude,
insane.
It happens. You know, like that's literally a 10R trade. It just kept going.
Look at that. Good
Yeah.
Lord Almighty.
It just kept going. So dude, it happens, you know, but $500 is better than zero.
Absolutely. Well,
it's not as cool as like 5,000, but it's still pretty cool.
That's insane.
Yeah, it happens.
So let me ask you something on with the 10 EMA. I mean, does that apply? Could you use that? I mean, obviously you can on any ticker. I mean, any symbol. I mean, is that an applicable strategy that can be around the clock with everything?
It works better with some than others. The thing is, dude, so it's a momentum strategy. So the reason that I was looking at this particular chart with that particular strategy was because, and dude, I'll be honest with you, 100% luck. I just happened to click over to this chart. I saw this perfect flag above the 10, and I was like, I saw this hammer with this volume, and I was like, oh my God, like this is a momentum strategy. Momentum was down. It just reclaimed these moving averages. It's giving me this perfect flag. Mm-hmm. Like this is momentum shifting. And if you look at the daily, which I don't do that often, but Riot's a one that I'm in on a swing with calls. So I was just happening to look at it. I mean, I knew that if it just got like here, it was going to go to 44. There was no doubt because it had this little, like, look at it. There's nothing stopping it. I knew it was going to go to 44.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that until after, like I had already taken my R because I didn't know what it was going to do. So had I just like accounted for this move prior, then I probably would have held the whole time, got up to 44, but I didn't. But the point is, this is a momentum play. So like it works better with momentum. I mean, it's a momentum strategy. And specifically on the day, momentum was changing. When you have this hammer come in with that volume, after it tried to move down, it's in support and it didn't work. So now it reclaims those moving averages and we still have room to run. Yeah, that's a huge trade. That's a perfect trade for that strategy.
Yeah.
But that's where back trading comes in. Like you'll get a feel for it. I don't even really use that strategy that much because for me, it's like a little bit boring and it takes too long to work. But to answer your question, like, yeah, it can work on any ticker. But you just got to get familiar with the ticker and see how it moves.
What strategies are you playing on a day trade?
Like continuations, hammers, inverse hammers, but lots of continuation, like support and resistance stuff. It's kind of, it's very very discretionary. It's not like it's hard to kind of say, like, pin down, this is exactly what I do. It's more of it's very discretionary. So like if you were to zoom out on this chart, I'll show you like what an example of how it would kind of work.
All right.
So all right, so we got some consolidation. So like if this thing was in like a downtrend and say it was like doing something like this, and then towards the end of the day it kind of consolidated like that, and you zoom in and you, like, the reason I say that is because I love this first candle. So like, okay, so like had this been in like a downtrend and then it started doing something like this, and this thing pops down below and the moving averages were like this, and I had like the 1 and 5 up here, and this thing pops down like this, I'm going to put, when it pulls back, I'm going to enter right here, put my stop up here, and just fade it down the rest of the day. Like that's basically my favorite strategy right now. And I mean, hammers, inverse hammers, yeah, it's kind of hard to describe. But in that back trading log, I have basically that I sent you. You have it, right?
Yeah.
I have all the rules for everything I do in there, and screenshots of examples of what they look like and how to set them up. So if you want to sniff around in there and play with them,
I will for sure.
Yeah,
I will for sure. But so like,
let's talk about, not to interrupt you, but I want to get on, I want to talk about what you did the rest of the day that day when you faced that disappointment. Like what did you do next?
So this was NVIDIA. That was that trade right there on the 9th. I then placed the trade on Nike to go short. All right. So you can see here, can you see this screen? I have 3 trades on the 9th.
Oh.
You can't see
that.
Still
see the
all right. So here is that trade. I have 3 trades on the 9th. All right.
Yeah.
And lost all of them. The NVIDIA trade was my second trade of the day. And after that I played, so I lost on Nike on a, and this was just stupid. I'll show you this one.
Dude, look, you nailed it. Look what you said.
What's that?
You said it perfect. Or did you just type this in now?
I just typed that in now.
Oh, I was gonna say, dude, you nailed it. What do you mean? It's perfect.
I just typed that in now.
Oh, okay.
So this was the Nike one. All right. Was going in on this. I mean, played a real tight stop, thinking, all right, after that big bearish or bullish candle, Nike tends to pop on stuff like that from what I've seen. So I placed a real tight stop, and boom, you can see what happened. Just was stupid. Never really, it wicked me in, then wicked me out on the same candle.
Oh, I hate those.
Yeah, that was my first trade of the day.
Check this out.
Yeah.
Is that 3 hours in one day?
Yes.
So we talked about that, right?
Yeah.
See, Slack.
Yep, that's the day. Yep, minus 2.89 on one day. Yep. And so
let's revisit the Nike trade and go through the day kind of chronologically. Let's talk about your emotions. Let's talk about let's talk about that side of the house, because technically I think that that's the easier part about technically is the technical side of things. There's probably going to be a case for all the different trades, but psychologically I think that's where we're going to hit the bigger points here.
Yeah. So when you look at, let me pull it up here. Go to the 9th. All right. So this is the full day for Nike on the 9th. All right, so here, and so are you on the journal? You can see the trading journal.
I see the journal. Yep.
All right, so on the first trade was that Nike trade I just showed you.
Yep.
All right. So let me show you and then after that on the chart, you see, so I lost 1R, just bam, right out the gate, man.
Can we go to that actual chart and, and look at it in real time just to make sure that I'm not missing anything?
Nope, let me show you that. So here is the chart. Okay.
I thought this looked different on the
well, there were 2 Nike trades.
Oh no!
I tried to. I went long on one.
Worse than I thought.
I went long on one and then tried to short it on the other. And so this was the first one on Nike, and this is the one where I did tight stops and it wicks me in and out. I mean, just like that. Now, you can see this was right around 8:39. It's about 9 o'clock. So if you go, can you see the days? Can you see the day screen?
Yeah, we're here, right? Hold on. Let me grab my phone. We're here.
Yeah, that's right. That's where that trade was.
All right, zoom out a little bit because we need to unpack something here, because just based on that screenshot, that was just a bad trade. Okay, so the first trade you took was you got in here and got wicked, and you got wicked in, and then you got stopped out.
Yep, because it had really tight stops.
Bro, that trade was not very good.
See, well, and now you can see this. Here's what I was setting it up on. All right, I was setting it up on this bearish candle above the 10 right there. So I set it up on the second candle of the day on the 5-minute.
Okay, I see that. So, dude, this is where we can start optimizing this strategy and becoming more picky, because. And I've been exactly where you are, where I'm focused so much on the rules of just the strategy that I don't even consider the broader context. And it just, sometimes it works, but if you can incorporate broader context, then now you're really cooking with grease. Okay. Because look at this. This is consolidation. We gapped down, we got bought up, right?
Yep.
So yeah, it could go like this and go up. And look, it did. But you're buying it up here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at the RSI.
Mm-hmm.
It was already super high.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, well, no, not there. It wasn't that high. When we saw it on that screenshot, I think because you had after hours on, it was even higher. It was even higher.
Yeah.
But dude, you're buying it super high.
Yeah.
Like if you played that trade with like an appropriate entry somewhere here in the consolidation, or maybe even up at support, and you put a stop like somewhere below it, or like below this candle or something like that, like halfway point of this candle, you got your R. It worked. And then it would have retested, you got 2 R's. But to go long up here, it's too high. Buy it cheaper, get it on a discount.
Well, and see, I think that's where I was thinking about it this weekend some. Like, it seems to me the further the candle is from the 10, that's less desirable. Like, I think I get too dogmatic sometimes playing off of that 10. And basically what I'm trying to say is, if it seems to be that if it's way off the 10, then it is too high.
For sure.
Playing one that's a little bit closer,
Yeah, I 100% agree, dude. So like the ideal 10 EMA strat is like, it's like that. you're getting it intuitively. Like, see how this is super far away. So like an entry here is not as good as now if we got rid of like after hours.
Like this over here.
Look at this. So
Zoom
like
in right here.
and this isn't a perfect example either, but like because so like ideally, well, dude, the EMAs are going kind of sideways. So with after hours,
Yeah.
it looked a lot.
It looked a lot worse with the
Yeah.
after hours.
So yeah, I mean, with after hours on, that's or with them off, that's actually not that bad of a trade. It's still high, but it makes more sense now. So yeah, I mean, if you're gonna trade with after hours on, then do it. If you're gonna trade with them off, then do it. But don't switch back and forth because you see how different it makes everything.
It's very different.
100% different. This trade is completely 100% different. So yeah, there you can start there. Pick one.
So do you use after hours up till the first bell just to see what's going on after hours? Does it matter?
Not in my opinion. No, I don't use it. It matters if that's the way you trade and that's what your strategy's been tested around and you know how to interpret it. For me, I don't use it. It's simple. It's just easier for me not to use it. But that's up to you to decide.
Yeah.
Because we can set up a trade that works with both of those charts, but you have to pick one. You can't go back and forth.
Yeah. Yeah, I see that now. I don't guess I've ever really, because that
dude,
looks
that's a totally different trade.
totally different, man,
Yeah.
than that right there.
100% different.
Completely.
And I mean, look at this tiny little. That volume means nothing to me.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, the candle's cool, but like when I see this little turd volume, and I guess it's on there too, and I didn't even look at the volume honestly, but this little turd volume right there with these sideways moving averages. I mean, I'm not pumped about this trade in either direction.
Yeah.
Sideways, and there's no volume. Now, if this thing had a volume, I mean, I don't like how big this volume is, especially with this little volume, because this volume's huge and the candle's really tiny, and this candle's huge and the volume's really tiny.
Yeah.
So it's telling me something weird is going on here. I'm not going to waste my time. This is weird. I mean, yeah, that's another thing to consider is that this doesn't make any sense. And everything's just sideways. Plus, it doesn't make any sense. There's just better trades out there.
Yeah, I see that. I see that.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, sometimes you forget to look at the volume, and that's why it's important.
Well, and I always try to look at it, but you know, I didn't hear, and you're right, because this big candle with that little volume and then a smaller candle, but with a lot more volume, I mean, I would say it's, you know, hindsight's 50-50. I'd say, well, that's a bearish indicator for the day. And then all of a sudden you get this big spike right here.
I wouldn't read too much into these. I wouldn't read too much into those at all.
Into the volume?
Not in those ones. Not those ones. Because look how, like, it's just sideways.
Yeah. Yeah. So just understanding the broader. So basically, like, I've just been playing the 10 EMA kind of like a carpe diem, man. I mean, as it shows up, you know,
yeah,
seize on it. So,
well, dude, so this would actually be a beautiful example if this thing had volume and say, because this is okay. So say the EMAs were a little bit more curled up and you had like more upward momentum, and then this thing closed above it. But what's so nice, so just imagine that, but then you see how tight this is relative to the 10. Like if that thing just barely closes above it, you should be licking your chops because you got a nice clean entry. But if it's like up here, like you don't want this one because look, it has to do all this just to get you triggered in. You don't want that. Mm-hmm. So like there's something to learn from this, even though like if we're just looking at the candles relative to the EMA, that's what I mean. in terms of like some entries are better than others because the closer it is to that thing, the less it has to move to trigger you in, the better. Which I'm pretty sure you already know intuitively.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and I have, you know, like to me, this candle right here, where's that drawing tool? What is it?
Yeah, that's
Is this it?
Yep.
Like this right here,
Uh-huh.
that little candle's a lot better than this big candle to enter off of, in my opinion.
Right.
And that's
Definitely.
what you were just saying, right?
100%. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't enter on that candle because this day is just already like,
Yeah. It's just,
I mean, it's just kind of like a crappy day. There's no edge.
yeah. Yeah.
I mean, if this thing had volume, that it would be a different chart. Like if this volume was from that candle, this thing would have gone higher, no doubt in my mind. But yeah, right away, that's weird. Like this doesn't make any sense. I should have looked at that. That should have been the first thing I noticed on the chart, but I was looking at the candlesticks. But yeah, this doesn't make any sense. Like that's a strong candle with no volume, so it means nothing because the volume in the candle don't match.
Yep. Yep. And then the day before ends the same way. The volume and the candle don't match.
Yeah.
And so,
if you would have this tiny little volume with this candle and then this candle had this thing, we're going higher.
Yeah. 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 That's yep. That's interesting. Well, so you can see that's basically how my week went last week. I mean, you know, and then, so keeping this, all right, let's roll on to the 10th.
Well, didn't you short it on the 9th too?
I shorted Nike. Yeah. So hold on.
Where did you short it? You shorted it right here.
Yeah. Let me pull it up and I'll show you.
Oh yeah, you shorted it right here. Yep.
Can you see that?
Yep. That's right.
So I shorted it right below. Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
Right there. Yep. That's where it was. And that's the long. That's the short. So
it's not a terrible short there either. I mean, it's just sideways, but it's not a terrible short. It really isn't. What sucks is that you had already lost an R.
Yeah.
And you didn't know what the chart was doing anyways. So
and
like
I jump back in. Yeah.
I mean, like, why take another trade on the chart? You already were wrong once. Why take another trade on that chart?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it can work for you a lot of times, but like it also doesn't. So like that's a rule I have. If I'm wrong on the chart, I mean, dude, if I'm wrong one time, I'm done. So like, but if you're wrong on the chart, I don't know. That's something you can think about. But as say none of this happened and you just took this trade, it's not a terrible trade. No, it's not a bad trade.
Just didn't go.
Yeah, it just didn't work. But that's not a terrible trade.
So
your stop placement would have been cool. I mean, it's not a terrible trade at all.
Well, now I've got a rebound, but yeah, so you can tell that's kind of why. And I that's why I wanted to get with you, because I always come away with something to add. And like looking back at this stuff, man, I need to start pulling in a broader vision of a 2 or 3 days leading up to, you know what I mean? And understand consolidation.
You'll get it, dude. I mean, like the thing is, like, don't even like just go back to this candle, the first candle of the day, before the first. Excuse me. Go back to before the first candle of the day. Go back to the last candle of the previous day.
All right. So like right here.
Yeah, with your back trade thing.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Zoom out. Just scroll with your mouse wheel. Zoom out. There you go. Okay. So what do you see?
Massive down action.
Okay. Okay. All right, cool. But what's this? What's this looking like?
Consolidation after a gap, or not a gap, but just after a big movement down, it's consolidating.
Yeah. So it's just That's exactly, this is a sideways inside day.
Yeah.
So what, if you see this, what do you want to happen for you to trade it? What do you want?
I want to see direction one way or the other before I trade it.
That's a good thing to think. So now let's look at that first candle.
That's the last one. Hold on.
Okay. No, stay zoomed out like that.
Oh, okay.
Yep, let's look what happens.
All right. So now we go here to the
Okay, what
next
do we get?
day. We got that big
Did it awe you?
candle with little volume, but no real decisive movement one way or the other.
Do you see how different, if you zoom out, do you see how different a sentiment that would be if that volume was from this candle?
Yes.
Do you see immediately how if that thing comes in after that gap down and it closes above this stuff, it's a rocket to the moon?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but so if you immediately, when you zoom in and you see that puny little turd right there, you say to yourself, I'm not trading this thing all day long because it's not going to do what I want in either direction. It's not going to give me a move because that's weird.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I look at it. Why not be that picky?
Yeah, and that's what I need to do. I need to get pickier. I need to get more, because here's and this is another psychological thing with me. I've got 3 tickers I'm looking at, and I'm thinking I got to make a trade. I got to make at least 2 or 3 trades every day.
Not true.
So I get that's one of the things I'm trying to work on right now. If I don't see something happening, I get antsy and I'm like, all right, I got to make a trade.
Okay, so we've talked about this before, and I think what we said last time was, and before I want to crush you real fast and say that there's no reason that you should have taken that NVIDIA trade after being wrong twice. I just want to get that out there. You know that. You know that.
I know, bro.
I have to tell it to you. I have to say it though. You just don't do that. You just cost yourself money for no. You just
for no reason.
Lit it on fire.
Yeah. It was terrible. It was terrible. No,
but just stop. Just don't do it anymore. It's that simple. Just don't. And dude, you'll miss a I promise. Next week, you'll be done for the day, and then you'll see a trade that you would have taken go for like 8R. You'll see it. It'll happen. It will happen. It's gonna happen all the time. That's part of being a professional trader, is that that shit happens. It happens every day. It just happens. Who cares?
That's really interesting, man, what we just did here, because I get real macro and zoned in. I'm like, dang, that's a big candle, man. But when you pull it out and you look at it in context, it may be a big candle, but it didn't go anywhere. It's
make no mistake, that's a badass candle if it had volume.
Yeah.
That's a badass candle if it had volume, because look at that thing.
It's a big one.
And I hope I didn't confuse you. That candle is a badass. That thing gapped down after consolidation and it reclaimed and closed above this. If that thing has this volume, I don't know how high it's going to go, but it's going to go higher.
So how do you get a candle like that? How do you get a candle like that with no volume?
I couldn't tell you. I mean, it's like market makers. Like, I don't know. I'm not a market maker, but it happens. And I don't give a shit how it happens. I just see it and I know what to do.
That's right.
But dude, make no mistake. That thing has volume. That is a badass candle right there.
Yeah.
If I see that candle come in, I'm still going to wait. If this thing has that much volume and it's that kind of candle, it might miss me, but I want another strong candle. And then I want it to pull back right here. I'm going to set my stop right here, because with all that volume, with all that sentiment after that gap down, there's no reason price should come down here. So now I immediately zoom out a little bit, drag this, make it a little bit better for us to see.
Zoom out?
No, you're cool. I just wanted you to drag this so that we could drag this over here, make the candles a little bigger. Nice. Okay. So dude, that thing, if that thing had, now the volume looks actually smaller. So say we had some ridiculous, even though that volume would have been fine.
Yeah.
So say that thing closes up here. I still want another strong candle somewhere up in here. But now look, I know it's going to retest this level because the buyers just made this huge move. So let me get in somewhere right here. And with all that volume, I'll put my stop right here. Boop. Like, dude, it's gonna like that's a monster. That's my setup right there.
Gotcha.
If I see a candle with volume like that reclaims a level, that just it would have been a 10 out of 10 if it closed above this shit. And then we got another strong, and then dude, yeah, that's a beast. That's like an amazing setup if that thing has volume.
If it has volume.
If it has volume, that's a great setup.
Yep.
It just didn't have any volume. So that's something that'll just come. I mean, you'll be able to avoid that in the future right now. That was a great setup. You took a great trade. It just didn't have volume. So it's not a great trade, but it would have been.
Right. Right.
But you read the chart right. I think you might have just done the 10 EMA strat without realizing how awesome this would have been. But now you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I got to run, man. I got to run. We need to do this again, man.
Let's get back together. Because if you start seeing this thing, dude, you just write yourself blank checks. Take as much money as you want.
This has been extremely helpful, man, because just looking at consolidation, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You see it everywhere. It's everywhere on these days. I mean, there's some right there, up, retest, up, consolidate, pops. You know what I mean? I mean,
yeah, that's basically it. I mean, look at it. It's just so easy, dude. It's so easy. It's just little S's all over the place, little waves. Yeah, and then you get something like this. Dude, when this thing goes sideways like this, oh my God, I'm licking my chops for a candle just like that. With volume. It needs volume.
I didn't even follow it the rest of the week. I was so disgusted. So I don't know what's happened.
Doesn't matter. You can just look at it right now. You'll see what's happening. It's still consolidating. I don't really like it. It's kind of boring me to sleep.
It is.
Okay, there was your move. There it was. See that? It moved. And then it gave you a chance to get in, and there it was.
Yep.
Did you see how immediately I saw that?
Yep.
Yeah. And then it retested and gave you a chance.
Yep.
There it is, though.
And now
look at it. See the difference? Yeah. There's your sentiment. This is all sideways. Blah, 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 blah. Look at this. Look at the range. Look at this tiny little range. It's just tight like this. And then all of a sudden, bam, we're out of it.
Retest.
Yeah, it's perfect.
And falls.
It's that simple, dude. It's that easy. That's your little channel thing. You don't even have to draw it. Just look. It's just this little.
Look, there it is.
And then it breaks out of it. Now you have, this is my play right here. This is it. Zoom in on this. Let's take a look at this before you leave real quick. Look at this gorgeous. Well, okay, I don't love this hammer. I'm not gonna lie. If this had a wick on it this way, I'd be licking my chops even more. But when you zoom out like that, you see like now you have all these moving averages. Now you can put a stop right here. You can just get in short right there. And it's simple, dude. I wouldn't have played this because I don't have any candles. But like when you zoom out and you see the sentiment behind the move, if now add a candlestick in there with some volume and you're off to the races, dude.
I mean, and then it just kept going down.
Yeah. So imagine this is like with an inverse hammer and you can just put, dude, that's perfect. Like, that's amazing.
Yep.
Yeah. So dude, it's that simple pretty much.
Well, look at it now. Here it is bouncing again.
Yeah. This is still doing sideways bullshit. So we want another move. We want to see what's going to happen.
The next move is going to be up.
Yeah, we'll see. And dude, it might just grind and do a bunch of boring shit, but like, okay, we don't trade it. But like, look, it's gonna go higher. Look at this. Look at the volume. Is that no? See, no, it's
that's it. Did it again.
Yeah.
There's the little candle, big volume.
But I probably wouldn't have played it. But this is a stronger candle because it closes above all this stuff. I still don't like the weird volume discrepancy, but like I knew immediately that was gonna go higher.
There it is.
Yeah. But
That
yeah, I
was
mean, but dude, there's nowhere to get in on this either. Like
no.
I wouldn't have wanted to get in here. I wouldn't have
Even if
wanted
you
to at
get
least have
in
pulled back from
there,
here.
yep. Because see, look, here's what I would have done. I'd have probably gotten in here,
Mhm.
set my stop down here.
You're never getting an R on that trade.
No,
I mean, you
no.
might get one R, but why? It's going to take you all day long. You have to babysit the thing. It's just forever. But dude, this is a perfect example of how this is perfect because do you see how that makes that risk reward? Now say you get a red candle, closes just above this 10. Now look. Now you can pull your stop somewhere up here. Now look how different. Now I would have got in on the retest, so it would have triggered me in down here. So I'm getting all this still. But even with your 10 EMA strat, do you see how much that just sweetens the pot? So this is a perfect example of how some trades with that strat are better than others. Because if it just pulls back and still gives you a chance, that's way better.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, there's your move. So it would have been nice to get in on a retest because you see this is strength. It's up and above it.
Yep.
But yeah, dude. So that's how easy it can be. You just zoom out and you look at what it's been doing and you want it to show you it's going to move one direction or the other, and then you get it on the move.
Now I need to see and I'm fine tuning this 10 EMA, but I need and see I'm impatient, man. I'm like, all right, I need to start getting some other tools in the bag to use, some other strategies to apply, but I'm not good enough yet to try to do that.
You're on your way, dude. You're on your way to outgrowing that strategy and getting a little bit more granular. It's conversations like these, it's understanding moves like these that are gonna instead of getting in, like instead of needing 3 bear candles and getting a bin above it, you'll understand that. Zoom out a little. You'll understand this move and be like, okay, this thing just blew the shit out of all this. So it's going to retest here. And then there's no reason it should go below here. So I can just take something like this and take it into the next level of resistance, which is somewhere like this. And then that's how easy it is.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, it's that easy. So you won't need the 3 red candle. You won't need an amazing red candle to get in above. You'll trust this sentiment and you'll be like, okay, just trigger me in right here, and then it's going to go higher. I'm confident.
Gotcha. Interesting. Yeah. No, I see that. But looking at
especially day trading, dude. Especially day trading. Because shit happens. It's so quick and so powerful. Yeah. Like the 10 EMA strategy would have been amazing right here. You would have gone in on this candle and it would have faded all day long. But that shit doesn't, it just, who knew that was going to happen? Not me. Nobody, I don't know.
This for shits and giggles. See what that would have been. And here's what I would have done. I'd have set my R probably right there.
Your stop, you
mean? Yeah, my stop right there. Yeah. And that is a
zoom out. Out.
Oh, out.
Yeah. Okay, I love that target. Do you know why I love that target?
Because you have nothing here
until here.
So,
dude, this is actually an amazing trade with the 10 EMA strategy. In fact, let's zoom in. Let's take a look at this trade really quick. This is an amazing, amazing setup for that strategy because remember, this was the day that we got that move down, right?
Yep.
That's the day we were like, holy shit, that thing just popped.
Yeah.
So let's look at this thing. This is actually an amazing trade. Okay, let's zoom in. Yeah, there you go. Drag that thing. So where's your 10? This blue one?
Yep, the blue one. Yep.
Okay, so it goes up. Would you've got that would have sucked. Oh wait, no wait. You're doing the green candle. Okay, so you're not. Oh, dude, look at this trade.
Yeah, even if you play it off.
Because look, here's your next level of resistance. So you can just put your stop somewhere like this.
Like it'd have been more right there with the stop.
You can drag this thing up to here. Your stop could have been above this little pivot.
I mean, that's almost a 3R.
Bro, that's what this strategy is made for. Because zoom out.
Yeah, that's a 3.5R trade.
And you could have waited, because I don't even know if I love it right here. But if you zoom out some, do you remember? This is what first got you attracted to this strategy, because I was talking about exactly this, these layers.
Yeah.
Look here. This is the last thing. So this thing gapped down, right? There's our momentum. It retests, it goes down, and what does it do? Consolidates. So if it breaks this level, boop, it's going to go down. Remember, this is the first type of setup we talked about with the strategy.
Yep, exactly.
And that's exactly what it did. And you could have entered right there with like a stop somewhere up here, because look, there's a pivot right here. So if it breaks, you have a pivot right here with all your moving averages right here to protect it. So if we zoom in and look at this pivot, so this is your line. That's your shelf, we'll call it. And look, dude, that's the perfect 10 EMA strategy setup right there.
Yeah.
Because it gives you this bear run down into it, then it pivots. It has all this shit to hold it up. You can put your stop right above this pivot. Oh my God, dude, that's a perfect trade with this strategy.
Yep.
And the risk reward's amazing.
Yeah.
So literally, if you're playing the 10 EMA strategy and you're disregarding like everything that I'm saying, just play these setups. Only these. Only play these with the 10 EMA strategy, and your risk reward is ridiculous. So if you look for the same thing that we just like, okay, sideways and it gaps down and it's on a shelf like this, you might only get a couple setups a week. But if you like, dude, only play this. Like only play those.
Yeah.
This is what the 10 EMA strategy. This is an ideal 10 EMA strategy setup right here. This is
all you need is one of those a week, and you're clearing 4 or 5 Rs.
Yeah. And honestly, dude, when I back traded this 10 EMA strategy, these aren't that common. When I say you might only get one a week, I don't even know if that's true. It might be one every couple of weeks. But this is what because I think when we were both talking about this strategy the first time, we were kind of in that sell-off. And I think what we got Tuesday, Wednesday this week was another one of those kind of sell-off situations. So if you if you just wait for these, bro, this is perfect. This is perfect. So I think if you want to just use the 10 EMA strategy, why not just focus on setup just like that?
Oh, I know.
For me, it's too boring. It takes forever. I'd rather make money every day. But this is what the 10 EMA strategy is. I mean, that's perfect. Here's your momentum.
Yeah, I want to make money every day too.
Yeah,
but well, man, I got to run. But this has been good. We'll do this again, man. I'll start carving out an hour and a half whenever you're available. And
cool, dude.
Because every time I walk away with something beneficial that helps with this. Dude,
I'm a little bit inspired to start incorporating this back into my day-to-day operations as well, because this is obvious.
Yeah.
And I would have been like, I'm not playing this because I didn't get a candle. But then if I zoom out, I would have seen, holy shit, dude, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the question then is, how do you find those? I mean, is it just combing and going through tickers?
Depends. I don't know. I've never done it. I've never done it that way where I don't know, like scrolled through and shit and just waited for them. Like me, I'm waiting. Like I would have played this thing with a candle pattern and then probably played it into here and been done for the day, which is why like I can even learn from this and be like, okay, I didn't get a can. So like for me, I don't scan. I don't do any of that. I have 15 tickers that I play and I just look, I zoom out like this and then I wait for the first candle on all of them and then I start reading the chart. So like I would have seen, okay, I would have recognized that this was doing something, but I wouldn't necessarily have taken inventory of this and
but yeah,
because I would have been looking just for a quick short back down, and like I would have probably played this and shorted into here and then
it gaps down
or bought.
Yeah. Well, and it's like you said, it gapped down into a level of support where the next level is a cliff.
Exactly.
And so, Why not just set an entry right there? If it triggers, then Geronimo. If it doesn't trigger, then.
And here's a situation, dude, where you have a lot because you have all these pivots and it gapped below them and then it retested them. I mean, dude, this is a gap that dreams are made out of. You have so much protection for your stop and nothing but blue skies. So yeah, I mean, you could scan for gaps and just and scan down. I mean, click shift and measure what this gap was. Click shift and click and drag, and you'll see.
Hit shift.
Yeah, hold shift and click. There you go, and then there you go. Drag it. Oh, just drag it to the open. So that was like a 2% gap.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. You could do a gap scan and play anything from whatever. Just look for gaps, and then if you see them consolidating like this, and then you see the first candle do something like this, and you have a shelf like this, but do you see like that's how you set it up?
Yeah. No,
say,
absolutely.
okay, I'm going to look for gaps, and they need to have consolidation. They need to gap into this, and you'll have to watch. You'll have to watch the first candle form. You'll have to watch it for a little bit, and if it gets bought up like that, and then bounces, and then consolidates on a pivot point like that, that's how you create your strategy. You look for shit that was perfect, and then you try to recreate it every time. So you say, okay, what did it do? I'm only going to do shit that does that. And there it is.
Mm-hmm.
I might even play around with this week. This looks so good.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, about a 2% gap down. 1.5.
Dude, the ticker, you'll have to set, like, I think when they teach like gap and goes, I mean, this is a gap and go, according to, but I mean, in my opinion, it retested. So like, I don't like calling it shit like that, but yeah, this was like consolidating upward and gap down below.
Yeah.
So like, yeah. And you have all this stuff here. So like,
full candle gapping down.
But I think what I was going to say was that, I think a lot of like Jeremy's videos have said like, well, you look for gaps between 3 and 11%. But like, it doesn't need to be like 3%. It doesn't necessarily need to be that big because you would have missed this on a 3% gap scan. But look how goddamn gorgeous it was.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a lot of the gaps I play, they just, because I don't look for gaps, I just play the same tickers every day. And like, I'll like this like a little gap even to here, that might only be like 1%. It would never show up on my gap scan. But the sentiment is so goddamn powerful just with that little gap.
Yep. Especially when you take into consideration 2 days basically of consolidating off of a all-time high that got rejected.
And I'll bet you if you were to zoom out to the daily chart, I'll bet you like this is one big red candle, and then you kind of have like a little inside candle, and then boom, goes down. Like just like it's all fractal, right? So it probably looks exactly the same as what a bearish setup would look great on the daily.
Yep. There it is.
Yeah, there it was. But dude, you see, like this was the gap right here. That was and look how tiny it is on a daily chart. You don't see, this doesn't mean shit on a daily chart, but that's 3 R's on a 5-minute chart.
Yep.
But you wouldn't even see this little turd.
No.
That's why it's so powerful for me. It's been so powerful in my career to just keep trading the same tickers every day and just look at what happens and see like, this doesn't mean shit. This wouldn't show up on a gap scan. Nobody gets excited about this or this, but look at the power when you have all that context on the 5-minute chart. You stick to the same time frame. You learn the time frame. If you're clicking around to like 17 different time frames every day, just stick to like one and get good at it.
Yep, I'm pretty much 5-minute the whole time is basically what I do.
Because dude, you would have got at least me, I would have got a conception in my head about what's going to happen because these daily candles are so small. And I'm like, oh, you're not going to make any money here, these little tiny candles. That's why I don't even look at the daily chart, because I'll get these ideas in my head of what can and can't happen. And then I don't look at the chart. I don't look at the 5-minute chart and see what's really happening. For me, that's how it works. So that's why I just, oh, did you know that you can like favorite time frames so that they'll all just be here and you can just click between them? You don't have to like click and switch. Did you know
No,
that?
I did not.
Yeah, go up here.
All right.
So say that you only want to look at, click on that. So say you like the 5 minutes, see this little star? And then you can go to the daily. There's a little star here. Now click out of there. Whatever other time frame you want to use. And there they are.
Oh, and there they are right there. Dude, I still don't know this trading view as much as well.
There's little tidbits.
These little
pieces of
tricks.
greatness. Yeah.
These little tricks. All right, bro. Well, man, Lance, I appreciate it, dude, as always.
For sure, man.
Hey, can you send me these videos?
Yeah, definitely. I think the other one I sent
you got a YouTube channel, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, cool.
I don't know if I'll put this one on there or not, but I'll send it to you either way.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
All right, man.
All right, bro.
Peace.
We'll talk later.